Chicago 5 NBC, January 6, 2019. Wisconsin police confront white man and black man. Only one is shot. Doesn't take a rocket scientist for you to figure this one out, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get into this story. In the course of 15 months, in the space of one city block, Milwaukee police twice encountered two suspects they believed were armed. One was black, one was white. One was in fact unarmed. One had a gun. One was shot, one was not. That the black man was the one shot, though he had no weapon, might come as little surprise at a time when police shooting involving black men seem commonplace nationally. Milwaukee has been an epicenter. In 2014, Dondre Hamilton, a mentally ill man, was shot 14 times by police. In August 2016, 23-year-old Seville Smith was killed by an officer. After the first, the city equipment police with body cams, which it does not make a difference. If these cops want to kill you, it doesn't matter if that body cam is running or not. After the second, there were riots. The shooting of 19-year-old Jerry Smith Jr. in 2017 did not set off similar convulsions, and the blood-free resolution of the standoff involving 20-year-old Brandon Baker this past November drew little notice. But taken together, they prompt a difficult and unanswerable question. If their race were reversed, if Smith were white and Baker were black, would Baker have been the one who's left bleeding and writhing in pain? In the darkness of November 6th, Election Day, Baker took to the roof of his apartment building and started firing guns. His neighbors, alarmed, called the police. Until then, his criminal record consisted of minor traffic violation, pot possession, and carrying a concealed weapon in September. He'd create his Twitter account a few days prior and started writing about running for governor, promising money for underfunded schools, pledging to legalize marijuana. He would pardon all felons so they could regain their right to bear arms. Just after 5 a.m., two police officers sent to the scene encountered Baker on Michigan Avenue in front of the entrance of the building. He refused to drop the AR-15 semi-automatic rifle he was holding. He admitted that he had fired the shots earlier and said he had posted a video of it on Twitter. He told the officers he was running for governor and that he was going to the polls to air it out, that he was going to start a militia. He had a right to bear arms, he said. As they talked, other officers approached him quietly from behind and tackled him. "I'm not moving. Don't shoot me," Baker screams at the video he was broadcasting, which WISN TV obtained before its removal from Twitter. Not a shot was fired. Now, he had an AR-15. Not a shot was fired. And he refused to put it down. In addition to the rifle he was holding, Baker had 3 loaded handguns. One in his backpack, another in his waistband. Don't they always say when it is black guy, oh, he touched his waistband? Now, he really had a weapon in his waistband. And a third was in his jacket, prosecutors said. In his apartment, they said officers found 232 grams of THC, a psychiatric active ingredient in marijuana, 14 stamps saturated with LSD, 73 jars of what were believed to be, okay, so he had the shrooms, the mushrooms, yeah, okay. So he had all of this stuff, weapons and drugs, refused to put the gun down, had to be tackled. Not one gun shot fired from the police. Baker faces numerous charges, including reckless endangering safety and maintaining a drug trafficking place. His public defender, who did not respond to requests to comment, has ordered a second doctor's evaluation because they're going for mental illness. Remember, mental illness is a sickness. So if he's diagnosed with it, anything he's done is not a crime. That's why they run to mental illness, ladies and gentlemen. There's a reason. To determine whether he's competent to stand trial. On August 31st, 2017, officers Melvin Finkley and Adam Stahl were on patrol when they received a call about a man with a gun in a predominantly black neighborhood west of downtown Milwaukee. Finkley is black, Stahl is white. It was around 1 p.m. when they got to the parking garage at North 29th Street and West Wisconsin Avenue. Jerry Smith was on the roof. That afternoon, he and a friend had gone to a house in the neighborhood to confront someone with whom Smith had a problem. Police later said Smith and his friend were looking for a fight, and after a brawl ensued with several others, Smith left to get a gun. When an officer approached him to ask about the fight, he ran away and took to the roof. A handful of officers below were yelling commands, telling him to put his hands up because they had him surrounded. 2 officers stood on the stairs leading up to the garage roof. When Finkley and Stahl approached, Finkley asked, he got the gun in his hand. That's one thing. They never can tell if a black man got a gun or not, but a white guy in plain sight with a gun is not a threat. He doesn't have a gun in his hand, but he was hiding behind the AC. An officer responded. The tip that Smith had a gun came from the people he'd been fighting. So they had lied on this dude. Finkley and Stahl climbed to the roof with their guns trained on Smith and joined the chorus of officers yelling commands. Smith briefly extended his arms just above his waist to show his empty hands, palms out, and he began crouching slowly to the ground. That's when 2 officers fired 3 shots. So he was going down to the ground, as if he was surrendering at that time. And they fired rounds, 3 rounds, with one bullet grazing Smith's head and the others striking his abdomen. I'm going to die, Smith wailed in agony on the ground. I didn't do nothing. The encounter lasted 10 seconds. No gun was found. Smith survived, but his right leg was partially paralyzed and he needs a cane to walk. He wasn't charged with a crime and has a pending federal lawsuit against the police alleging officers acted with deliberate Indifference. I had my hands up. It's on them, Smith said at a recent news conference. Everybody scared of the police, every black man that's from around the neighborhood where the shooting occurred, he said. But the Milwaukee District Attorney's Office reviewed Smith's shooting and concluded the officer's actions were justified. They say that every single time, especially if the man is unarmed. An unarmed black man, no matter what the cop does, it's justified, y'all. Everything they do is justified. And as you can see in this particular case, it's no different. So this is a bunch of BS. And it is another example of how there's nothing but deliberate double standard in policing. They are trained to try to take a white suspect down without a shot at all cost. And the black suspect, they are trained to shoot unarmed, armed, legal, concealed carry gun or not. Don't matter. They are trained to kill black men in this country. It is a fact. But please tell me what you think, ladies and gentlemen. And this is why I wish they would just, at this point, leave us alone. The bottom line is, you don't care about the community that you're policing. You don't care about the people. You don't care about anybody. And at this point, many of us have lived without the police because we just simply don't want them around. They are of no help to the black community. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.